Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this morning with Dave Pimper, the coach. We're going to talk about Social Security claiming and how you can use Social Security claiming expertise to grow your business, help your clients, and meet new clients. So, going to be a great webinar today. Our guest speaker, as I mentioned at the outset, is Dave Pimper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He's going to come in and hit upon the top 4 or 5 claiming issues that everyone needs to have in their back pocket in order to answer most of the claim Social Security claiming questions that may come up, and he's also going to offer his expertise for assistance along the way with additional issues that arise that are outside of those. So it's going to be a great webinar. Before we get started, I want to mention a couple things. There'll be a couple polls that pop up. If you can answer those and get off and on as quickly as possible, I would appreciate it. Don't be worried about putting a no if that's what you're thinking. That doesn't bother us at all. And if there is something we can help you with, we'd love to do that as always. So here we go this morning. So I want to make sure that you're all aware of our new producer builders. You can see there before you, if you take just a second, kind of what is available there. The opportunities are anywhere from the 100,000 point level all the way up to the 1 million point level. Any one of those levels can be reached, and you can claim at those levels. Now, as you can kind of see, each of them has some cash value, and as those cash values are or those levels are hit, we would also be okay with, if you have something else that you're using that's working that you'd like us to donate towards, we would do that as well. So that's a conversation to have with your sales director at any point. I want to make sure too you are aware of a couple programs. The one that we send out the most money on is a referred producer program. The RPM program is pretty straightforward. If you refer someone to IAMS, you get a bonus on the business that they do, and that bonus continues for as long as they're doing business with us, and it adds up to about 20 basis points on annuity, as a for instance. If you doing business with us regularly too, you know about our marketing reimbursement program. Very straightforward. All the business that you do with us, money goes into a marketing reimbursement account for you. As you spend money to grow your business, we will match your spend dollar per dollar, thereby doubling your marketing force that you have with your marketing reimbursement dollars. So take advantage of that program. Again, check with your sales director if you need to see where you may be on that, where your account balance may be. Firelight, this is the EAP solution that almost every annuity carrier uses. We have put a single sign-on to the Firelight application for all of our carriers on our website. What that means is you can go on to our website, we call it a single sign-on, and access the e-app for any one of the carriers that you might do business with. So it saves you the trouble of having to go from website to website. It's the same application, so looks exactly the same. It also has the same updated paperwork for all the carriers, so you know you're using the most accurate paperwork. We've also added the 8424 form in there for your protection as well. So that is a really nice feature to have, where you can do it on a single site. And another benefit is that you can also transfer basic information from one app package to another app package. So it saves you a lot of time if you're doing application maybe with 2 carriers, or maybe a second app on the same client, even with the same carrier later, or a second app on the same client with another carrier at a later point. You just go in, copy that information. Of course, you have to get it re-signed and verify all that information is still correct, but it saves you a lot of time. So that's a really nice feature. Call your sales director and ask him. It takes about 3 minutes to go ahead and get signed up via our website for Firelight. Take advantage of our advertising team. It says Creative Marketing Solutions, but they're really folks that are just there to help you grow your business. And to do that, we know that you need to advertise, and that's digital advertising, print, email, all the ways that, radio commercials, things like that. Anything that you can think of that you would use for advertising to grow your business. A lot of marketing pieces, kind of ready-built marketing pieces that they can logo for you. You can get your business cards and letterhead if you haven't done that yet. So that's really what they're there for. They're going to do that pro bono, whatever they can. If there's some cost involved, we can use your marketing reimbursement, but you can rest assured that any price that has to be charged and any expertise around our marketplace that you need, they've got that there. They do a lot of work with a lot of our producers, so they're very, very tuned into our business. Retirement Analyzer, I would encourage you, if you're not using something like this is basically a software tool that you can use with your client or clients to help them determine where they're at on their retirement journey and where maybe their shortfalls are. Maybe they're a little over risky invested. Maybe they're a little too settled with unrisky type investments, and so you need to get that risk tolerance right. It'll help determine that as well. It'll find the shortfalls that they may have, whether it's long-term care, life insurance shortfall, and it really does in a beautiful graphical format that you can work with your client. Your client is easy to understand. We like it because in terms of input versus output, it's the best system that we found. Very user-friendly. You can set it up to take in automatically a lot of values from various accounts. You can set up a short form to make it easier for you. And we make this available to our producers at no cost. In other words, we're paying that monthly fee for you if you want to use this program. And we do that because we know that it's going to generate business and make you more valuable to your clients, especially your A and B and maybe even some of your C clients that you want to spend that extra time with and have more assets with you that need more guidance. So give Marcus a call here at our office. Let him walk you through how the Retirement Analyzer works, get you a link and let you go to work with it and see how it fits, even if you're not doing business with us yet. But if you want to evaluate this product and see if it's a good reason to consider working with IAMS, we will make that available to you at our expense for 30 days. You can run one on one of your top clients, run one on yourself, however you want to do that to try and evaluate it. So take advantage of the Retirement Analyzer software tool. I know that you are all probably familiar by now with our Top Producers Summit cruise. It's a European cruise. We're going to start in Rome. We're going to go down the Italian coast. We're going to stop in Sorrento and Capri, head down past Sicily. Then we're going to come back up through Greece, Montenegro, Croatia, a couple of stops in Croatia, and then we're going to end in Venice. So it's going to be a really nice cruise. You can see on the screen before you that everybody's going to have a balcony. Everybody's going to be on the concierge level. So that's 24/7 access to anything that you need. So it's going to be a great way for you to show your appreciation to whoever is the main support system in your life, just as we're showing our appreciation to you for your hard work. It takes 4.5 million points to qualify. Points are accrued on annuities on a dollar for dollar basis. We have an 18-month qualification that ends in June of 22. So still plenty of time to qualify. And remember, any business that you do with IAMS counts towards this particular Top Producer Summit. So take advantage of that. We'd love to help you. Give us a call and let us know how we can do that better. Life and Annuity Academy. So we have one at the end of this month, and then we don't have one until the spring of next year. Unfortunately, the one at the end of this month is full up. As you can imagine, those do fill up rather quickly. We take care of your expenses associated with it. But if you want to get in for one of our academies for next year, I would encourage you to give your sales director a call and let them know. They'll send you out a form. We'll get you in the pipeline so that you can be considered for one of our dates of next year. We were pleased to be able to get one in this year. We had another one scheduled, since been canceled with a little bit of a kind of a reignition of the coronavirus. They decided they wanted to cancel that one. And so right now we're looking at probably March of 2022. Likely venue will be Chicago. Number here, if you want to talk with your sales director and get on the list for that, is 800-255-5055. We'd like you to follow us and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn. There's some things that you can get via the LinkedIn connection or a Facebook connection with us that you can't get any other way. We've got some nice white papers and things like that you want to be aware of, and that's a great way to keep up to date on what's happening here at IAMS and what's happening with some of the carriers that we do business with. Keeps you, kind of in the loop with one of your main business connections. We think that's really valuable. So next we have the coach, Dave Pemper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He is also a producer since the early 80s. He has done probably about 20 years of radio. He's done over 520 or so public seminars now since the early 80s. A lot of those have been around Social Security over the last 10 to 12 years. He would probably tell you that Social Security claiming and expertise he's developed around that is likely responsible for probably 35 to 40% of the new prospects that he has met over the last few years. So it's been really valuable to him, and that's why we go out of our way at least once a week to talk about Social Security claiming with Dave Pemper. Dave is a regular producer with us, and that's where his bread is buttered, but he is, I think he enjoys the camaraderie of the coaching. He enjoys helping people find success in their business, and he enjoys sharing his marketing expertise, which is, I think he would say, been the very linchpin of his success over the years, is getting in front of more people than the average guy. He'd probably be at radio, is probably seeing 3 to 4 new appointments each week, is still doing seminars, of course, referrals. He's built prospecting around MedSup that is bringing new clientele into his office all the time. So he would be the first one to tell you that getting in front of people at the rate that he does has been the key to his very successful business. So, Dave, are you with us here this morning? Okay, looks like he is maybe just having a little bit of trouble with his audio, if I'm reading that correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started a little bit on a couple of things that I know that he wants to get going with. So obviously, as I mentioned, we have a very fully built out Social Security claiming assistance program, and that involves not only assistance around how to get in front of people, whether it's seminars or radio or even mailings, but it also involves having the expertise that you need to be successful in front of folks. And as you can see from the slide before, a little quote from Sarah O'Brien from CNBC is that, and if you've worked with folks in that 50 to 62, 63 range, you know that it's definitely true that people do not get advice. They have very little assistance on Social Security, and there's not a lot of places to get it. Most advisors, probably in my experience, probably 80 to 85% of advisors basically don't talk about Social Security because they don't have the expertise, and a lot of them, I think, don't necessarily understand the opportunities around helping clients with their Social Security to make sure that they get the best possible bang for their Social Security dollar. So per Sarah O'Brien on CNBC, she said a majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of their retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study concluded. So there's no doubt that and there was a nice study, and I'd be glad to forward that to you. There's some really good information in there that was actually, I think Lincoln Financial was the one that was the company that sponsored it, but it was done by a major polling company, and they have a lot of great information about what people do and don't understand about Social Security. And there's no doubt that most prospects, most of our clients are looking for information. They're willing to make changes in who they seek advice from in order to get that expertise. But unfortunately, most of us on the financial advice side don't have that expertise. So it just becomes a matter of either they do without, they try and get that advice from Social Security Administration, which is a real uphill battle, or they make a bad choice because the Social Security. Hey, Dave, there you are.
Good. Hey, I've been on for a while. I do not have on my screen, I'm not up on the PowerPoint. So I'm going to go out and come back in.
We'll do this now, see if you can see it. I noticed.
I can see it now. Yep.
Okay,
good. I'll let you finish, and then I'll jump in when you're done.
Well, basically, I'm doing your first slide for you.
Okay, all right.
Already. So I'm going to switch from this slide to the next one. And can you see it now?
I can, yep.
Okay, good. So you're going to talk about only 1 in 300 seniors could ace a Social Security test. I know you're going to go through a couple of the things. I went through all of your expertise, so the group is pretty well familiar.
I've been listening to you. You've been doing a great job.
Thank you, Dave.
I'm Dave. Yeah, thanks, Steve. I'm Dave Pemper, and sorry for being a little bit late. I didn't have that up on my screen for some reason, but Social Security is a great subject. Not just a great subject to know, but a great subject to make money from. And that's why so many advisors, probably 90% of the advisors, don't really understand Social Security, and the reason is because they can't figure out how can I profit from understanding Social Security. And I'll tell you right now, it's a door opener, just a great door opener for getting your foot in the door, of taking a look, and to find out when the best time to claim Social Security. You certainly do need to understand of what the lay of the land is for their wages, for their assets, for their pensions, for IRAs, 401ks, and I'm covering all those assets. I mean, it's very easy when you're counseling on Social Security claiming. This is a quiz, and the quiz is pretty cool. It's a 5-question quiz to find out how much you really know about Social Security. This was from SimplyWise, which is an online financial kind of engine, and only 1 in 300 seniors, and really only 1 in 15, 1 in every 15 advisors could answer all 5 of those questions correctly. So let's talk about them real quick. If you have any questions on this, certainly type it on in. I'll see if, and say, Steve,
Yes, sir.
we will be done. We will be done really not much later than about 1/4 till. So just let you know. So
Perfect. Yep.
from a timing standpoint. So this is the first question. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? So what's the correct answer to that? Write it down. I mean, we'll do this quiz with me. There's 5 questions only. So what age is that? Well, if you went on and you said full retirement age, that is incorrect. It is not full retirement age. It is age of 70. Okay? Age of 70. That's how you maximize your full retirement benefit. Okay, let me work this, see if I can get this going here. Steve, are you there with me? I just don't know why this isn't allowing me to do this, but you may have to help me here, Steve.
Okay.
On this. So, what's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? That's the question number 2. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? Okay, write your answer down. Okay, here we go. The answer is 60. That's the earliest age you can. 50 if you're disabled. Only 9% of the people knew that. Okay? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yes or no? It is yes. And my clicker is working now, so that's good. Now, there are four, well, from a spousal benefit, yeah, your spouse has to, other spouse has to be taking. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Yes or no? They can. If 4 stipulations are met, you got to guess 2 of the 4. What are 2 of the 4 stipulations that have to be met for divorced spouses to receive a spousal benefit? Okay, here's what they are. First of all, your marriage had to last at least 10 years or longer continuously. You have to be unmarried. Your ex could be married, but you have to be unmarried at the time of claiming. Ex is at least 62. Divorce was 2 years or more ago. If you got 2 of those right and answered yes, you got that question right. Last question, are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Well, you know what? You are. If those 4 stipulations are met, which I'm giving you credit for that because we know what they are. How'd you do? If you got all 5, you know it pretty darn well. If you've got 4 or less, you may need some help. If you got 1 or 2 or 3, yeah, you certainly need some help. Understanding Social Security, it's working with it day in and day out, not just once every quarter or once every 6 months. Jana Heron from USA Today talks about from this excerpt, says doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. Bullet point one, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Retirees will lose an average of 111. Isn't that wild? $111,000 to lose in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Just because they took Social Security at the wrong time. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. Is that hard to believe or what? Yeah, when Social Security was put into law, it was 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Do you know how many people were working for every person retired? 150. 150 people were working for a person retired. You know what it is today? 3. Wow. 65 was the only age you could take in the beginning. You couldn't take early, couldn't take late. 61, that changed. You could take early. Shortly after, you could take later for a bigger amount. Automatic cost of living allowances would look like it could be 5 to 6% this year. Highest maybe since 1983, which is forever ago. That's when taxation started with Social Security in 83, was upped in 93. Last major reform was 2015 with the Bipartisan Budget Act. How important is Social Security? Very. 59% of retirees count on their Social Security benefit as to be a major source of income. A major source of income. There's 3 ages or dates that are important to Social Security. Everything starts from the middle date, which is full retirement age, FRA, full retirement age. Lots of acronyms with Social Security claiming. So depending on when you're born, you're either 66, 67. Can't be earlier than 66, can't be later than 67. You get the full benefit. If you take earlier than that, you get it, but it's reduced. If you wait later than that, it's increased when you take it. Okay? Any questions? Type them on in. Social Security can have a huge value if you claim at your right time, not the right time, not a right time, but the right time. The trust fund, they just came on out. This is a little bit late here, but it's 2020, and the trust fund is still positive. Probably will not be positive this year, but it still has $2.8 trillion. But it's supposed to go bankrupt in 2033. If the trust fund goes bankrupt, would anybody get any Social Security benefit? Yes, because it's a pay-as-you-go system with payroll taxes. Also taxation, also interest on the bonds or IOUs from the government are there also. Are there ways to fix it? Yeah. Either higher taxes or increased ages on full retirement age or the age of 70 or first age you can take. Yeah, there's different ways. It is a pay-as-you-go system. It is funded by payroll taxes. It's not a Ponzi scheme, as you hear some people say. How do you figure out your benefit? Well, you got to have 40 quarters of coverage, or 40 credits now they call it. If you make $1,470, you can get a credit for the quarter. You can only get 1 credit per quarter, 4 quarters a year. 4 credits are the most you can get. The more you make, up to $142,800. You don't pay into Social Security after that, but the bigger those credits are. They look at your earnings over your working career. And then when you start, the later you wait, the bigger the benefit. The earlier you start, the smaller the benefit. You can take as early as 62, as late as 70. They take your 35 highest inflation adjusted years. If you haven't worked for 35 years, you get zeros in the years that you didn't take. Yeah. And the benefit is increased each year. There's a cost of living adjustment. It's happened every year since 1975. That's 46 years, every year, except for 2010, 2011, and 2016. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. I was born in 55 at 66 years and 2 months to get my full benefit. That's my FRA, full retirement age. And so forth up to 1960 or later at 67. A newborn born today, age 67. If you take early, it's reduced. If your full retirement age is going to be reduced anywhere, if you take it 62, anywhere from 25 to 30% if you take as early as you can. It's the most common time where people take the benefit. Almost 40% of all Americans take at the age of 62. And more did during the pandemic. How about if you wait longer or later than full retirement age, you're guaranteed to grow virtually every year 8%. So if you wait 4 years, it's guaranteed to grow 32%. That's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. I always say that if you understand the individual benefit inside and out, spousal, divorced, survivor, and then the coordinating spousal benefit of restricted application, I will tell you right now, you know probably 85, 90% of all the questions that are asked of you. Now, one of the things about myself, Dave Temper, and with IAMS, the FMO, we're big believers in educating our advisors and our agents, our producers up with Social Security. We give you 3 different ways to do that. The first way is Social Security workshops. I've got one going up in the Northeast right now. I mean, he had over 60 people sign up. I know from the first night he got 7 appointments, and he hopes he gets some between 7 and 10 appointments the second night. Social Security seminars are back. They're back. Tons of people are doing them right now. Don't be on the sidelines. It's $2,500, and you're guaranteed 25 people to sign up. $2,500. You're guaranteed between 2 nights of 25 people to sign up. Hopefully, it's more than that. Like with my friend up in the Northeast that's been doing Social Security seminars for a long time with us. But what happens is, if you don't know Social Security or inside or out, you want it refreshed, yeah, there's 3 coaching sessions that are paid for by us. By IAMS pays me to coach you. They stipend me. And that $2,500 will guarantee you 25 people to sign up. You get the PowerPoint, you get everything that we hand out. You get, I mean, just it's a turnkey system. We work it here from our office. Been doing Social Security seminars for 11 years now. We've done over 85 Social Security seminars, and we're doing, through the fall here also. Okay. So the second way is Retirement Boss Radio, which is a radio show where you're your own host. I put that together and market it through IAMS. Proprietary, Retirement Boss Radio. We don't have every city's not open because we've got other people in other cities, but a lot of them are. And I'll tell you, I mean, we hope to get 10 appointments or more. Last month, the month of August, which is normally a slower month in the advertising business, marketing business, 21 set appointments. I had 4 set appointments for last show. I tell you what, it's a very good medium. Normally cost all in for an hour show each week. You host it, and you have a co-host, professionally done. Yeah, going to range probably from $3,000 to $4,000 all in cost. And then if you just want to a la carte and just learn Social Security, not with any marketing, but just want to learn it, $800, 4 sessions. And you could use me at any time after that with questions that you have. So if you're not coached up on Social Security claiming, we're going to put up a poll at the end of this. And if you mark yes on that, then we will get in touch with you and get you coached up. I'll tell you right now, it's one of the greatest inroads to production that there is. And once you start talking about Social Security, people will look at that as, if you know that much about Social Security claiming, I bet you know quite a bit about financial management also. So what do we do with the spousal benefit? Well, let's say Dave's primary insurance amount. That's the amount at full retirement age is $2,400. Amy's primary insurance amount is $1,000. Dave takes his 2,400 at full retirement age, just for the sake of this of this hypothetical information, and Amy takes her 1,000. Dave gets 24, but Amy has the option to take all of hers or half of Dave's, whichever is more. What's more? Half of Dave's. That's 1,200. She gets really, the way Social Security looks at it, she gets $1,000 of her own benefit and a $200 top up. Now, in work coaching, there's a lot of other things that I go into, but that's the basics of the spousal benefit. Okay, so let's talk about divorce spouse, a benefit that's lost many times. First of all, individual benefits have to be asked for. Spousal benefits are automatic. Divorced benefits have to be asked for. So here's what happens. If your marriage lasted 10 years and was continuous, that has to happen. Your spouse is currently 62 or older. You taking the benefit is currently unmarried, and the divorce was at least 2 years or longer. If that's the case, then you know what? You can use your divorced spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Married couples have many more options than single people. Doesn't help everybody, but if it would have helped you in a marriage, it will help you in this. So that's pretty cool. Survivor benefit. My wife says no one gets out alive. That's true. Maybe spiritually you do, but not physically. Everyone's going to die. Dave's benefits $2,000. Amy's benefits $1,200. Dave's benefits $2,000. Amy's benefits $1,200. Who normally dies first? 75% of the time, the guy does. Not fair, but true. So Dave dies. Amy's got an option here. She can keep her benefit, or she can drop her benefit and jump up to Dave's. She can't take both. What she also can do, she can request to go in. Say Dave's benefit was $1,200 and hers was $2,000. Just reverse those two. Well, if hers is going to be higher, she could take Dave's benefit and then let hers grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. You remember the delayed retirement credit? Yeah, 8% a year, and then turn hers on later at no discount. Even if she took Dave's early, you can take as early as 60, but there is a 28.5% discount if you take early. But when you turn your benefit on, the 2,000 plus change way down the road, no, it's much bigger. There's no discounting as long as you do it after full retirement age. Pretty cool. A lot of benefits with survivor benefits have to be asked for. Now, coordinating spousal benefits, this is phasing out. Final to spend after the 2015 Budget Act, it phased out in 2016. This doesn't phase out until January 2nd of 2024. There's about 2 years and a couple, 4 months left. You've got to be born before January 2nd of 1954 to make this work. So you got to be about 67 years and 8 months old to make this work. And here's how it works. Dave and Amy, now you both don't have to be full retirement age, but the person taking the benefit does. In this case, so there's not discounting, I have both at full retirement age. Dave's PIA or primary insurance amount is $2,400. Amy's is $1,000 in this hypothetical situation. Amy files for a benefit at 66. Dave wants to let his grow the delayed retirement credits of 8% a year. He could do that, but if he files and suspends, he still does that. And the loophole is he's able to take a spousal benefit. A spousal benefit is always half of your spouse. As long as Amy's taking hers, Dave can now take $500. It's free money per month. $6,000 a year. $12,000 for 2 years. $18,000 for 3 years. Huge deal. It's free money. Less than 1% of all people that this would benefit take advantage of it. Isn't that something? Restricted application. But the person taking has to be born before January 2nd of 1954. If you have any questions, type them on in because we're certainly going to answer every single one of them. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. What can and can't the Social Security Administration do? You know what they can do? They can give your largest benefit you're entitled to right now. What they can do is scenario plan all the what ifs. If you do this, if you do this, they cannot give you advice. They can't ask you about your health. They can't ask you about your asset base. They can't ask you about your income stream. They can't ask you about your expenses. We do that. We're advisors. We're producers. We help people. They can't. We can. We can give advice. They can't. That's why so many people come to those workshops or come and talk to about Retirement Boss Radio or just want information about Social Security. This is right from their program's operational manual systems, POMS, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. So those are important enough. I'm going to read them right down. Consider all the income streams before you claim Social Security. There's 5 of them. It's not a standalone income stream. Social Security is not. It how the income streams complement, or Social Security complements those income streams. I feel that Social Security is the most flexible of all the streams, claiming at your right time, not the right time or a right time. And when you think about break even, don't ever forget about the survivor benefit, because all of a sudden that break even is not as late, it's earlier. Okay, it's one of the 5 pillars of income. So income pillars are wages, full or part time, pensions if you're lucky enough to have one. Income producing assets is where we make our money: 401ks, IRAs, annuities, real estate, cash values, bank accounts, CDs, and then RMDs. You're forced on traditional to take a 72. It's how Social Security complements these other income streams. So the big question your client or your is going to ask you is when should I claim? But it's there's so many spinning plates, so many moving parts. There's the individual benefit, spousal, coordinating spousal, survivor, divorce, excuse me, asking about your own personal health history, other income sources, bunches to consider for your best decision. Now, remember I told you that there are 3 ways? I'm telling you what, 2 are paid for. You learn Social Security. If you market a Social Security workshop with us for $2,500, and you're going to get 10 or more appointments from that and write business, it's cheap. And you get your Social Security is, I coach you up. No cost to yourself. Retirement Boss Radio, if you've never heard or thought about not a 30-second ad or a minute ad, but on for an hour every week, it's a mainstay of the way we market here. Consider it. As long as you have 100,000 population or more in your area, or if you don't want any kind of marketing, you have enough leads coming in already, or for some reason can't afford it, yeah, just $800 will get you coached up on Social Security claiming. No other FMO offers an offer like that. There's an old saying, it says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes. Don't let that happen to you. If you heard something today with Social Security, and Steve, are you there to put the slide up? Hopefully you are, or he'll be back shortly to put the slide up. What happens is that you're able to talk with me and get some ideas of maybe what Social Security claiming could do for your business, could do for your practice. Most advisors don't really know the impact, the positive impact that Social Security can have on your bottom line. When you're talking to people about their health, about their expenses, their budget, their goals and aspirations of what they want to do, how they're going to spend that money, and then finding out the pillars of income, wages, pensions, investable assets, getting all of their investable assets. It's a fact finding. And they give everything to you. Hopefully you're finding something. I work with partials all the time on rollover money. I had a guy that had almost $3 million in investable assets, and we worked with $400,000 because he just wanted to basically work just the guarantee with me. That's fine. I don't mind that. And if I do really good for him, on the fixed index product, he'll either put more in, or maybe we'll go other, and I'll do it because I'm securities licensed from the investment side. But Social Security is that kind of information. So if you heard something when the poll goes up, you certainly want to mark yes on that, and we'll get together. So as Steve's, we're just waiting to come back and to go in and to put that poll up, let's go in and answer some of the questions, okay? So one of the questions that was brought up, they're asking, what is the cost again for Social Security seminar marketing? And then the second question on that was, what is all involved with that? So I'll answer the second part of that question first. When a person signs up for Social Security claiming seminars, it is an hour seminar. I have a proprietary PowerPoint I put together for IAMS, the FMO, who I've been coaching with for over 15 years. And you get that PowerPoint. It's 44 slides, and it covers all of the high areas. Some of those actual slides were on today, okay? So it does cover that. The second thing is that we coach for 3 coaching sessions on coaching you up on Social Security claiming. There's also a book, a $20 book you buy used from Amazon. I call it the Bible of Social Security claiming. And so there is some study on your part. There's 3 to 4 hours a week of reading. That's very, very important. But we're doing kind of an accelerated class of learning Social Security claiming. And then every time we have one of our 3 Social Security coaching sessions, we do them by phone, and they're 45 minutes each, give or take. But if we talk about survivor benefit, you're going to get some articles and information on survivor benefit. If we talk about delayed retirement credits, you're going to get something on delayed retirement credits and how they work. So it is pretty self-encompassing, but also what you're able to do is once the coaching is done, as long as you're with IAMS on some of your business, I mean, you can use me as much as you want, as often as you want, within reason. I always say use me, don't abuse me. But I'm at your disposal to answer questions, not just on Social Security, but on marketing and also on financial. I've done this business for 40 years, and I'm pretty holistic in the way that I invest and I manage my guarantees for folks, but I can certainly give you insight. But a lot of it does revolve around questions when it comes to Social Security claiming. I've even quite a few times I've actually been involved in the appointment itself to answer the question when they're right there. They just conference me in. I know ahead of time of when it's going to be. And then the last is with just you pay $800, and I mean I coach you with 4 Social Security sessions. So the cost is $800 on standalone Retirement Boss Radio, depending on how big your market size is. It could be anywhere from $3,000 to maybe $4,000 or $4,500 a month. But you're on the radio. For the first or second largest stations is the norm with us that we try to get on. Normally AM, normally conservative talk, but I certainly have people that work with me who are very liberal in their political standings, but their show is on the conservative station. When it comes down to livelihood, can you imagine a car dealer or a restaurant saying, hey, we're only going to serve Democrats, not Republicans, or not Republicans, just Democrats? I mean, everybody has money and the color's green, and we should treat it exactly the same way, helping that person with their financial goals. If there's any other questions, Steve, are you there yet? You can type that on in. I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and if Steve does not, if he got hung up, which could happen, then what we'll do is we will call each and every one of you. We've got a bunch of people, but I wish we could just go and type in right now, but we don't have the poll up. But I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and hopefully he'll be back by then. Hold on just real quick. Okay, so another question is, after we're done coaching, how much will we really know about Social Security? So I will tell you this, until you're out there day in and day out, or week in and week out, and you're talking to people and answering questions, that's where you really learn the subject. But will you know much more when I'm done with you, absolutely you will. You'll know much, much more. And by the way that I coach, helping people with questions, going and role playing, I will tell you, even if I got a guy right now that truly does know a ton about Social Security, he's given many seminars, and I said, "Do you want to coach?" And he said, "I do." He said, "I can brush up." And we didn't go 3 sessions, but we went 2. And he said, "Boy, I'm really glad we did because you introduced me to some things that I didn't know." So that is what we're supposed to do. And then we'll answer one last question. And again, Steve probably just got hung up on some kind of a call. Um, what we'll do, oh, there he is. Okay, good, good. Well, Steve, we were almost ready to close, so I'm glad that you got back. Hey, I was going to ask her one last question, but I did talk, Steve, about um, the Retirement Boss Radio and the cost, the on the Social Security seminars, and then individual, and those, and then they want to know what was all encompassing. So I actually did go through that. So
All
I'll
the
kind of hand it
questions.
over with you.
Sure.
Yeah, you can kind of close her up here.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate your patience, everyone. So, obviously, as you all know, having some assistance along the way with Social Security is very, very important and could be very impactful in your business. And Dave has talked a little bit about some of the ways that he has grown his business using Social Security claiming, and that is in spades across our agent group. We've had a lot of our folks that have done Social Security seminars. In fact, when the pandemic hit, we canceled 17 separate seminars for 17 different producers. And of course, slowly we started to do those face-to-face ones again, and they work very well. So if seminars, radio is of interest to you, or if you just need Social Security claiming training, we've got really, I think, one of the best in the industry here right now. And some of that just is based on a great level of expertise, but some of it's also based on the fact that Dave is in your shoes, so he knows what you're dealing with. He makes himself very available to folks that work with him on Social Security claiming to answer questions as they might arise, because there's always going to be something that could come up that might potentially stump you. And I know that even Dave has had to every once in a while go to the POMS manual or to find the information out. So, but having that type of support around such a very important subject for people that like you all that work in that retiree and pre-retiree marketplace is key. So I'm glad that so many of you, as I'm looking, I've seen that most of you are looking to get some assistance or at least want to have a conversation with Dave, which I think is great. There's a couple of you that have not voted at all yet. Yep, yep. And a few of you that well, no, everybody's yes. That's a, I was going to say a couple no's, but right now everybody's yes and a couple haven't voted. So thank you all for listening in so intently. I think you see it obviously the value of what Dave has to offer, and we appreciate that. Obviously, here at IAMS, our goal is to make sure that we're putting in front of you the types of assistance that you need to be successful, and sharing with you some of the things that have made some of our other top producers like you in the field so successful. And Social Security claiming over the last few years, really the last 8 or 9 years, has been at the top of that list. So we're proud and pleased to have Dave. We're very pleased that you all see the value of that. For those two of you that have not voted yet, if there is something additional another question that we can answer for you. In fact, let me take a quick peek and see if anybody's put another question in. There's 1 or 2 questions that I think are going to be fairly individual to be answered, and I'm guessing that you all have made an appointment with Dave, so that's great. So I don't see any other questions out there. If there's another issue or question that you might have before we close up here today, I hope that you'll shoot it in really quick for us and we'll get it answered as quickly as possible. If you are unable to vote, which it looks like maybe that could be the case for at least one of you, certainly give us a call here at the office at 800-255-5055. We'll get you in touch with Dave's team over at Lazarus Coaching. Besides himself, he's got 3 folks that work with him on a regular basis to make sure that the coaching is done on schedule and you have all the information that you need. So a great support team there at Lazarus Coaching as well. So thank you all for joining us here this morning. Dave, is there anything else that you want to add as we close up this morning?
No, we had a good amount of folks, and I'll tell you, this is September, October, November, early December. It's got to be one of the top time periods to market. And if you're not maximizing your marketing now, my. And if you're still held up because of the pandemic, I mean, every state is open. You got to like our libraries are not open, but we've got a Regis conference room that we can rent for it's like $125 a night, and we're packing them in there. So some people, I doubt many, but some people could have enough appointments every day. But I wish you could see my calendar because it's between Retirement Boss Radio and Social Security seminars. And I'll tell you right now, Social Security is the mainstay of the business that I'm writing right now by people coming in and getting questions about their Social Security. Let me coach you up. I mean, if you thought about it before but never took action, I understand. But now is a great time. So when we talk, I'd love to go in and kind of show you the insight of what Social Security claiming can really do to help your bottom line for your business.
Great stuff as always, Dave. Everyone is very intrigued. I see based on our voting by what we have to offer here. And I think that's accurate. I think there's a lot of good reasons to add this, and there's not a better time. I do believe there's pent-up desire. There's a lot of folks that have not been able to get the information they needed for whatever reason about their Social Security. They're having to get that now. And so I think there's a lot of pent-up desire that we're seeing at the consumer level. So it's a great time to jump in, and there's nobody better to jump in the pool with than Dave Pimper. He can teach you everything that you need to know about Social Security claiming. So thank you all for joining us today. I apologize for a little bit of the technical difficulties that we had along the way. I appreciate your patience there. I look forward to having a great sales week. We always here at IAMS look forward to chatting with you. If you want to give us a call, we're at 800-255-5055. There's a lot going on and a lot of great opportunities around Social Security claiming that we'd love to assist you with. So have a great day. Have a great finish to your sales week, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye bye.